Stephen Eskinazi, congratulations. Century to start the season, that little fist bump at the end, a century to finish the season, but also maximum batting points and Middlesex as good as back in Division 1.
Yeah, phenomenal day's cricket. Probably up there with maybe the best in my career, given the context of how important this first innings was for promotion hopes, how difficult conditions for batting were, we thought. And I guess the pressure, we know we've worked so hard all year, and it's been an angsty last sort of 2 or 3 weeks looking at different permutations and different results, but we knew that we had it in our hands, and I think the beauty of today was exactly that. We knew that if we played well, we'd be absolutely fine, and yeah, we managed to do that and more.
The beauty of Division 2, that you've literally been pushed to the final, penultimate day of the season, and a fair nucleus of the 2016 side, especially with Toby Rowland-Jones back fit all season, John Simpson back to his best, yourself, Sam Robson, Mark Snowman's addition, really strong Middlesex side, but right to the very last, pushed by most of Division 2, including Worcestershire up to a week or so ago.
Yeah, I think what the last 4 or 5 years has definitely shown me, it's that, for a side to go down, it's not like it's easy to just bounce straight back up. You've got to beat good teams in their home conditions, good overseas players, and a lot of good county cricketers. So we've had to put a hell of a lot of work, not just this year, over the last couple of years, all the winter work, the change in the management, the way that's allowed us to play. I think the job's not done just yet. We'll play good hard cricket tomorrow and make sure that we put the icing on the cake, but I think a lot of people can take a lot of credit for the way we played this year, and the hard work starts next year, but we'll savour a day of cricket today for sure.
Obviously there's a bizarre situation where it's not mathematical because you haven't got the points yet, but realistically Middlesex are up, and it seems as though most people are acknowledging it in and around the dressing room. I know it's difficult on record on an interview to say it, but it has been frustrating, hasn't it, not getting back up. Winners in 2016, the plan was all right. 2017 was a blip, get straight back up. It must be a good feeling to be where you are now.
Well, exactly right, and I think if you look at this game, if we had made 399 and Sussex had lost, we could have played as well as we have this year and still not gone up, so it just shows how difficult it actually is. But I think, we're going to be back where we deserve to be with the group of players that we've got. The club of Middlesex's history and size and prestige needs to be challenging for that Division 1, and we know with whatever happens to county cricket going forward, it might be even more important to be challenging next year than anything else. So yeah, we're excited by the opportunity. We're going to savour a day out today, because I think to do what we've just done there with the bat, for Simo to do what he did, for Pete to pull the rabbit out of the hat there, you don't do that. And on that surface, it's just people said we thought we were more likely to get 40 than 500. So yeah, we're very, very proud of ourselves.
Beat for yourself as well. I mean, obviously you were sick first day of this game, and heavily sick as well. So fatigue must have played a fair old part. I think you were sat down at one point just after you got your century, or after the 400 was brought up. I can't remember which it was. You must have been exhausted.
Yeah, I think I had 2 bread rolls and a plain tortilla for the last 3 days. But I think when you have the job at hand and it's just one big push, it's just about. I actually felt like today it was just looking at that number on the scoreboard and looking at that overs left, and there wasn't too much more to it. I didn't really, until I got back into the dressing room, feel anything. Simo was amazing to bat with. For someone to do what he's done this year has been incredible, and we just knew, we had 2 hours of intense batting and trying to apply our skills to the best of our ability, and then we can savour the next couple of days. So yeah, unbelievably pleasing in the context of the game.
Tell us a bit more about what you said about why today felt so special, and I think you said nearly the very best day.
Yeah, I think personally, it's sort of no secret that I maybe haven't contributed in 4-day cricket as regularly as I would have liked in previous years, and having missed a lot of the games this year, I was really keen to go and put a marker on in a big game and under pressure. So I just think in the context of where the club's been and where we want to go, and how hard so many people have worked to put us in this position, it felt really special to be able to be the person to put my hand up today. And I think you look back on your career and you make a lot of big scores or make a lot of contributions, but it's the ones in important games and in difficult conditions that really mean the most. So yeah, really proud of everyone. I think Peter Milan, you sign overseas to do just that, and after a tough week last week and maybe a tough couple of games, for him to show that it was possible on that wicket, because I probably didn't think it was, lifted the dressing room massively. And then for someone like Simo to play like he did and pass 1,000 runs, and Rocky to pass 1,000 runs, it almost just felt like it was the stars aligning slightly.
Is that kind of the difference? You mentioned Milan there, just showing you can go out and do it on that. Is that a slight difference perhaps what Middlesex haven't had maybe since 2016. I think of Adam Voges at that point, before him Chris Rogers, that kind of really senior head who's been there many times to go out and do it.
Yeah, I think that's confidence, and that's showing. We've had quite a prolific year with the bat this year. We've played on good surfaces, but we've played bloody well too, you know. So I think in years gone by, if we were presented with those conditions in that bowling attack, if we were a bit low on form or low on confidence, I think it would have been a different story. But we sort of back ourselves up in any conditions, and I do think that Richard Johnson, Rory Coots, Jay Dernbach, you know, every coach that's helped us this year, they have completely prepared us for what we faced out there. If you'd come to Merchant Taylor School in April, you would have seen brand new balls, spicy wickets, and it was said from the outset, we know the conditions that have presented to us in county championship cricket over the last 5 years, and it's up to us to find a way. And today was a prime example of finding a way. It wasn't always the prettiest batting, you know, a lot of plays and misses, getting in the way, fingers getting hit and whatnot, but we're paid to find a way. We believe in ourselves, and yeah, we're over the moon to be able to put that into fruition today.
I know it's a long way away, but almost in reflection of this season, how prepared do you feel you are for next year? It's statistically the best seasons that John Simpson and Roland Jones have had in their careers. And they were obviously key players in 2016 as well. The actual team, the statistics this year, you mentioned yours, you're averaging 40, I think, now in championship cricket across the season. The statistics all look good for all of the batters, and obviously we know what the bowling unit can do over the years.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, we're starting to get back to that position where you have a beautiful blend of experience and youth again. You've got guys that have done it at the highest level, high quality overseas players, good domestic cricketers that have done it year in, year out, and you've got some really nice youth in you know, your Lukies and obviously Maxi's not young and experienced, but still young in age. And you've got guys that are really pushing, and you've got good squad depth. You think of, you know, someone like a Tom Helm away. You know, we were supposed to have Umesh Yadav for this game, so you think there is high competition for places, and you know that if you play cricket for Middlesex's first 11, you have to put in a performance one in every 3 or 4 games. And I think, you know, that's a privilege to have that pressure on your shoulders. There's many players that would be wanting to have that sort of pressure. So I think we're seeing that more as an opportunity now than a threat, which is probably a slight difference in the last couple of years. I just think, yeah, we're on the beginning of that upward curve that we've spoken about at the start of the season. It was never going to be sort of instant gratification. It was going to take a lot of hard work, but it is a plan, and it's starting to come together.